A new way to make rum would give the island something to focus on and a source of economic recovery. Hello and welcome to My Tiny Bottles, the project where I'm exploring my grandmother's legacy of miniature liquor bottles, one tiny bottle at a time. I'm your host, Tammy Coxon. Bottle number 99 is Rhum Mauny. This 7-year-old aged rum comes from the French island of Martinique in the Caribbean. Like most other modern rums from Martinique, it is a Rhum Agricole, which means that it's made from sugarcane juice. That's pretty unusual for a rum. Rum is made all over the world, but the vast majority of it is made with molasses, which is a byproduct of sugar manufacturing. The main place where that's different is in the Caribbean countries that were colonized by the French, most notably Martinique. But sugarcane juice is also used in nearby Guadeloupe and Marie-Galante, which are still French, and Haiti, which is independent. Sugarcane was first planted in Martinique in 1640, and like in the rest of the Caribbean, it was a major driver of the trade of enslaved African people. This sugarcane was used to produce sugar, and the molasses was used to make rum. But by the mid-1800s, the sugar industry was in decline. France, the major market for Martinique sugar, had started making domestic sugar from beets in 1811. And then France abolished slavery on Martinique in 1848, so there was no longer forced labor to rely on, driving up prices for cane sugar. Sugarcane was the island's main commodity, so enterprising distillers began shifting their production from making rum with molasses to making it with the sugarcane juice itself. If no one wanted the sugar, why not just skip that step altogether? This proved to be an excellent use of the unwanted cane, and by the early 1900s, rum distilling was thriving, with around 75 different distilleries by 1935. Today, only 7 of those distilleries remain, and my bottle comes from one of them. The name Mauny refers to the name of a sugarcane plantation founded in 1749. According to Wikipedia, they built a distillery and created the Agricole rum style in 1820, although I haven't been able to find a source to back up that claim. Other sources say Agricole rum was birthed in 1870, which better matches up to the story about it being connected to the decline of the sugar industry. And yet others say the style was created by Omer Clement in 1902 in the wake of a devastating volcanic eruption that destroyed the capital city and killed 30,000 people. A new way to make rum would give the island something to focus on and a source of economic recovery. Mauny, as the commercial entity that exists today, began in 1923, when the distillery was sold to a pair of brothers named Theodore and George Belloni. They upgraded the facilities and increased production, and began exporting Mauny rum in 1950. The brothers passed away in 1970, and Theodore's widow joined with a Martinique family named Bourdelon to create the BBS Group. This new enterprise continued to grow, exporting to France in 1977 and building a new distillery in 1984. Today, it's one of the largest distilleries in Martinique, crushing around 30,000 tons of sugarcane each year and making 3 million liters of rum across a few different brand names. My bottle is definitely from the BBS era, probably from that 1980s period of rapid growth. It was hard to put a date on it, as the few examples of old bottles I found online didn't have dates. But the bottle label features a stylized drawing of a woman that has changed through the years, and mine matches up to a 1983 ad that I found in a Virginia newspaper. I know it's from before 1996. That's when France granted an AOC designation to Martinique rum. AOC stands for Appellation Origine Contrôlée, and it's the system that mandates how and where many French products can be made, from wine to butter to some kinds of poultry. Getting an AOC for Martinique rum was a big deal that was in works for 15 years. If it had been in place at the time of my bottle, then there would be a special seal of approval on the label. My bottle does say it's 7 years old, which is quite a decent amount of aging. Today's Martinique rums follow the same kind of labeling terms as cognac, VS, VSOP, and XO. XO is the top of the nomenclature and only requires a minimum of 6 years in barrel, so mine is older than that. I don't think I'll be able to get a modern bottle of XO to compare it to, because as far as I can tell, Mauny is not exported to the US. I'd never even heard of the brand before I found Grandma's tiny bottle. Because it's made from cane juice, Rhum Agricole has a really different flavor profile than molasses-based rums. In my experience, it's grassier and more vegetal, and aged varieties can have a little bit of a petrol nose. As a passionate rum fan, it's always been a little awkward that I'm generally not a big fan of Rhum Agricole, especially the aged ones. I used to really bounce off of them, but in recent years I've gotten better at finding things to like. So I'm excited to taste this one, even as I worry a bit that I just won't be able to appreciate it to its fullest. But I'll have some great company for that tasting. Check out the next episode where I'll be joined by Matt Petrick, also known as Rum Wonk, who is one of the most influential rum researchers and writers. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss that episode. Drop a like while you're there. Are you a Martinique rum fan? What's your favorite? Tell me about it in the comments below or on mytinybottles.com or on social media. I'm at Tammy LC on Blue Sky and at mytinybottles on Instagram and Facebook. Cheers!